Hey, what's going on, everyone? Yeah, sort of fail a bit on the intros. I don't know what to say. I don't have like a catchphrase or something cool that, you know, some other people use. So if you got any ideas about how to start a video, let me know. If you want me to, if there's something that I should start off with every time, so people know it's one of my videos. I got the endings sort of down packed with me special words and all that. But we'll turn that off because we don't want to hear some fucking moron being a wanker. We're just going to have story time with Shane today. We're just going to cruise along. We'll turn off and we'll sort of go off the highway a bit. But I was listening to a podcast the other day, as you do while you're driving, and one of the subjects they started saying, they started with school. The two guys that are in this podcast that just chat with each other about random shit. They started off with what was the most petty thing you did at school, and then it turned into what was the most petty thing that you've done at work. And I thought, okay, that's something I can relate with. Here's something right down my alley. So we're not going to go with school, but we'll go with work. Now, I have alluded previously to telling you a few stories about when I worked at Toll, and eventually we probably get around to the reason why I left Toll. I mean, long story short, management at the place I was at, I'm not saying all tolls are the same, but management was shit. They were fucking useless, hopeless, and fucking, they knew nothing. But anyway, so we'll go with, we've got two stories. We'll go with two stories of how I think I acted petty. What did you do that was petty while you're at work? So story number one, I was working night shift. So it was, what was it, maybe 11:30 at night I started till, it varied whether I had to do a trip in the morning or not, but it was usually like 11 o'clock or 11:30 till, you know, it was usually about 6 in the morning. I hate these things. These are the most ugliest looking three-wheeled motorbikes. Looks like the bloke's got a wheelchair as well. I don't know whether his legs don't work or whether he's taking a wheelchair for someone else. But them three-wheeled motorbikes are the ugliest fucking things you've ever seen. Okay, but anyway, working night shift at Toll. 11:30 till, I don't know, 6, 7, 8, 10 sometimes in the morning. Anyway, we had this new supervisor. She's the reason I ended up leaving, but we'll get to that another time. Hadn't been in the industry before, thought she knew it all. Anyway, we were waiting for the line haul trucks to come in to the depot. So we're waiting on, I think it was like 3 or 4 trucks, and they usually turned up within about half an hour of each other. And anyway, there was some big fatality or some big mega crash on the freeway, and they were all held up. So we've done all we could do. We've fueled the gas bottles up on the forklifts, we've swept the floors, we've put away all these, we've done absolutely everything we could do. Me and 2 of the other guys, because there was only 4 of us on night shift, me and the 2 other guys, we're just sort of hanging around, just chatting. Anyway, she fucking waddles over like a big fucking penguin that she was. You just need to go and have lunch. And this is, like maybe 1:30 in the morning. And I said, what do you mean? She, you need to go and have lunch. I said, it's not lunchtime yet. You know, any normal person was like, okay, lunch is like the middle of the day, or if you're working night shift, it's just the middle of your shift. You know, 4 hours in, you'll have your lunch break. You know, refuel yourself with a bit of, you know, energy from your food. You know, have a half-hour break, have a half-hour sit down. You can, you know, just recoup. And, you know, just reset for the second half of the shift. That's just normal. Anyway, she's like, yeah, but the trucks aren't here yet. I'm your boss. She wasn't the boss. She was just a supervisor. I'm your boss. I'll tell you when you can go to lunch. I said, you didn't lose your attitude. So, no, you're the one with an attitude because I'm telling you to go to lunch and you're not going to... What she didn't know, the truck drivers didn't like her. The line haul drivers. I'd had one message me about, it was probably 5 minutes beforehand saying we're about 10 minutes away. They were all in a line. So I thought, okay, well they're only probably 5 minutes down the road. Maybe 10 minutes max. They're not far. I said, are you telling me you want me to go to lunch? Yes, you need to go to lunch because when they get here, we're going to be busy. I said, okay. I'm going for my half-hour break. And whatever time it was, and I made a point of it because you didn't clock on and clock off for your lunch break. But I just said, okay, it's 1:13. I will be back at 1:43. Whatever time it was, I can't remember exactly. You know, this is fucking years ago. Said, okay. Said, come on boys, let's go to lunch. We've only just sat down. I put my food in the microwave. And then you hear these trucks rolling in. She's fucking, oh, quick, the trucks are here. We're already behind because I was supposed to be here at midnight and it's fucking almost, you know, it's 1:30. Quick. You told me to have lunch. So, oh no, but you can have lunch later. I said, no. You told me I had to have my lunch. You told me I have to have lunch. She says, oh, come on, Shane. I said, listen, if you said it, can you go and have your lunch break, and you didn't have an attitude, I'd come out. However, your attitude fucking stinks. I said, there's no way in the world. I told you exactly what time it was, you know, whatever it was, 1:13. I will be back at 1:43. Then you hear that shh. They've pulled up, the brakes are on, they're opening up the curtains. Who's going to unload these trucks? I said, I'll be out there at 1:45 or 1:43. She did not like that at all. However, I didn't like her attitude. You know, if she communicated with everyone a bit better, the truck drivers would have messaged her for starters, you know, saying we're 10 minutes away. They've messaged me and said, yeah, look, hey, we're 10 minutes down the road, Shane. You know, like, we've been held up. You know, there was a crash, whatever it was. So, that was like petty point number one. Oh, so, and then it was the next day. So I finished, and we finished work. We worked back a little bit that day because the trucks got in late, so it took us longer to sort the freight and get everything moving and all that sort of stuff. So the actual boss comes in at 6 o'clock or whatever time he came in, and we're still there. We're working away. She's run straight over to him, fucking sucking his fucking ass off. She's like, oh, I'm going to tell you about what Shane did last night. I have to tell you what he did. He went to lunch and he wouldn't come back from lunch. He's like, what do you mean? She's like, well, I sent them to lunch. I sent them on break, and then the trucks turned up and he wouldn't come back. He's like, well, why didn't he... You know, then asked me, well, why didn't you just have your break later? If the trucks were late, why didn't you? I said, she told me I had to. I said, if you heard the way she was talking to all of us, I'm your boss. I will tell you what time you have your lunch break. Well, okay. If you're going to talk to me like that, you're not going to tell me that I only have 5 minutes for my lunch break after you've demanded that I have a lunch break. No way. So, I don't know. Was that petty? Probably. Was it justified? I definitely think so. Petty point number 2. I mean, tell me if you like that. Tell me what you would have done in that scenario. Would you have just said, oh, look, I'll come out and I'll work and then, but I'm not having some fucking dumb mole fucking try and talk down to me like that. I respected her position, but I did not respect her as a person. I did not respect her as, a supervisor or whatever. Come on, Bo. Yeah, I didn't like her as a person at all. I respected the position. You don't go to work to make friends. It's great if you can get along with everyone where you work, but you go to work to do a job. If you can't do your job, get someone that can. She couldn't do her job. Anyway, that's a whole nother, we'll go into her a whole nother time. We'll have to do that video, I don't know, maybe next week. Petty point number 2. I'd been working there for a few years at this point. And again, the main boss, he's left the task up to her. Need to tell Shane that he's due for some holidays. He hasn't had any time off. He's been here for 2.5 years or whatever it was. He hasn't had any holidays. We work right through Christmas and all that. Obviously have Christmas Day off, Easter. But yeah, we don't actually close down. And anyway, she's like, oh, you've got to have 2 weeks holiday. You've got too many holidays banked up. I was like, oh, okay. And I remember it was like the middle of the year. It's probably like July. Raining, it was crap weather, it was shit. And I was like, well, I don't want to have 2 weeks off. It's fucking crap, you can't do anything outside. I don't want time off now. You have to. It's come from head office. You need to have 2 weeks off. I said, well, I'll book 2 weeks. I'll book 2 weeks off further in a year, just so that it's booked in. I don't want to. You have to take 2 weeks off now. So what are you telling me, that I have to have the next 2? No, well, you've just got to start booking holidays in. You've got to have it now. You can't book it in. And I said, okay, that's fine. Okay. So at the end of my shift, I've walked in and I've seen one of the other fellas that works in there in the daytime. I was like, I'll use his name because look, it's fine. I'll just use his name. Hey, Andy. He's like, yeah, Shane. It's like, mate, can I get you to print out like a leave request form for I would need to have some holidays. They told me got to have 2 weeks off. I said, oh, okay, well, yeah, man. I said, oh, I've got like fucking 5 weeks banked up, and they said it's too much. I said, oh, yeah, they don't like you having that. I said, well, so I've got to have 2 weeks. So I've got to have 10 days. Can you print me out 10 sheets? Now, you may see where this is going. He said, oh, no, well, you only need 1 because you fill it out. Oh, I better stop here because that's a red light camera here. Probably could have made it, but it's a red light, so I'm not gonna chance it. He says, oh, no, you only need the 1, bro. He said, unless you're taking like 1 week off and then it's then you're coming back and then having another week, but you just put your start date and your finish date and what day you're coming back. I said, yeah, give me 10 sheets, mate. He said, oh, you sure? Yeah, give me 10 sheets, please. So he's printed me out 10 sheets. I said, oh, I'll bring these back tomorrow. Thank you. Went home and I filled it out. Come back and I said to this fucking fat bitch, I said, here's your fucking leave forms. There's me 2 weeks. She said, oh, why is there so many pages here? I said, if you want me to read it for you, we're going to have issues. I said, you told me that I had to have 2 weeks off, which is equal to 10 days, 5 working days in each week. So I'm having 10 days off. That's what you've specified. And she looks at it and says, oh, but these are all different days. I said, well, of course they're different days. You've told me to have 10 days off. I've got to have 2 weeks off. I'm thinking, like, how fucking thick is this stupid bitch? Like, are you fucking retarded? Clearly you are. Anyway, the big boss comes in and he's like, what's going on, Shane? I don't know, I'm just, you know, waiting on someone to say that my holidays have been approved. And he's like, oh, okay, so you've booked in holidays. Yeah, okay, yep, it's approved. He said, oh, you know, we told you need to have some holidays when you have them off. I said, oh, it's coming up, you know, like starting next week. He says, oh, starting next week. I said, yeah, it starts Friday next week. He says, oh, okay, yeah, okay, yep, that's fine. And then she fucking pops up out of nowhere and says, did you know he's taking the next 10 Fridays off? And he said, what? Yeah, he's not taking 2 weeks off. He's just not working the next Friday for the next 10 weeks. And he's like, whoa, what do you mean? And I said, well, you've already told me it's approved. You just said it was approved. And he said, yeah, but can't you take, what do you mean you're not coming? I said, well, you told me to take 10 days off. I needed to take 10 days out of my annual leave because there was too much leave banked up. And he said, yep. I said, so I'm taking 10 days off, the next 10 Fridays, so 10 weeks in a row. Oh, so what we did was we worked Sunday night. We'd go in, it was like 11 o'clock or 11:30. But yeah, so Monday to Thursday, and then I wouldn't work Friday. Of course, every fucking time I try to bloody record, the bloody wife rings me. I'll ring you back. But, and I've always told her, I don't even know if she watches my videos, but I've told her, I said, if I cancel your call, don't ring me back. I'm busy doing something, I'll ring you back. There's been that many times where she's tried to ring me and I'm trying to bloody throw straps and I'll cancel it because my phone's in my pocket or whatever, and she'll ring back and ring back and ring and fuck off! I'll ring you back! Sorry if that was super loud, but yeah, it frustrates me at times. I mean, it's not just her, it's everyone. Well, I'm not going to answer someone else's phone call either. But, yeah, so they weren't super impressed with that. Oh, you're taking the next 10 Fridays off. I said, you told me to take 10 days. I'm taking 10 days out of my annual leave. I said, oh, well, okay, well, that's different. We usually think that people would just take 2 weeks. I said, I don't want to take 2 weeks off. It's the middle of fucking winter. I don't want to take time off now. I'd rather have time off in summer. You can go outside and do things. You're telling me, though, I need to have it now. I need to start having time now. I can't book it in. He's like, oh, yeah, what do you mean? You can book it in. As long as it's booked in and, you know, you take it. You know, you can do that for 3 months' time. I said, well, she told me I couldn't. He's like, what'd you tell him that for? And she's like, oh, I just want to tell you, you know, he's got to have some time off. I said, no. Taking the next 10 Fridays off. Oh, well, can't you take a Monday off? Because Mondays are quieter than Friday. I said, no! 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 Not a chance! You're telling me that I've got to have time off and I can't take it when I want. I'll take it when what suits me then. Fridays. And I felt super petty for doing that. However, the scenario itself, I was like, well, you've brought this on. This is not unjustified. I don't know if old mate there had a fucking bee in his car or something. He was fucking swatting his hands, fucking going. Oh, he was fucking swatting something inside of his car. But yeah, so I don't know. Was I petty? Was that unjustified? I don't think it was unjustified. It definitely was petty. I could have done something that suited better in with them. But just the way that they approach having the time off, the way that it's worded, you need to do this. And I'm like, hang on a minute, I come in and I do work for you. I know you pay my wages, but you can't talk to me like shit. So, yeah, but as always, if you've watched this far, thank you very much. My GPS, I don't know why, it's just turned itself off, but I know where I'm going. And tell me, what was the most petty thing that you've done at your work? What have you done that is super petty? Or something that you think is not, it was justified, but you could have done something, like maybe not so silly. What was your petty thing that you've done at work? As always, if you've got anything else that you want me to talk about, if you've got something like this, another little story that you think, oh, well, Shane might have something to put in. He might have some comments about his own. He might have some fucking story that he can ramble on with for 15 minutes. Chuck it in the comments. Don't grind gears like I just did. We're going a bit slow up this hilly, just until we get going. Yeah. If you've already subscribed or following along, thank you very much. If you haven't, and you've watched all this way, your life will be so much better if you subscribe. I don't know what will change, but just do it. I thought she was going to pull straight out then. She probably thought she was going to pull straight out. Alright, take care, stay safe, leave me comments, tell me your best stories down there. And bye now.